Hi everybody, I hope you're doing awesome. My name is Nathan, and this is going to be round 2 in a Magic Online competitive league playing Jeskai Flash. I've already talked about a bit about the decks, so I don't have too much to say. Obviously, I'm known for playing Jeskai Geist. This is just sort of a different take on that, on Jeskai mid-range. Essentially, you have the ability to be a bit more grindier with things like Blade Splicers instead of Geist of Saint Draft. You have the ability to board those out and become very much a flash deck, but your overall power ceiling, I think, is a little lower in that you're not really able to create situations in which you can play Geist to an empty board and just crush the game in a couple of turns. But the Jeskai Geist deck also does suffer from the fact that there are times when the cards don't come in the right order, or you don't have a Geist, or just your creature, your opponent is really resilient, maybe to your removal, and you play Geist, but you're just unable to get him through, and you kind of slowly lose the game from there. So there's pluses and minuses to both. All that being said, we have a matchup, so let's go ahead and play it. I would like to play first. 2 lands and a Serum Visions. I'm going to keep that. The thing is, I have no idea what we're playing against, so I don't think I'm going to go for the fetch into Serum Vision's plane. Our hand is missing a little bit of interaction in the form of like bolts or something. We do have a Spell Snare for their turn 2 play. Okay, so we're going to be playing against Zoocide, or Death Shadow Zoo, or however you want to refer to that deck. I wouldn't be surprised if our opponent just took the Serum Visions. He may take Spell Snare for their double striking. Oh, he took Cryptic Command. It's kind of interesting. Maybe this is just, I don't know, but I'm going to just play the Colonnade. It gives our opponent a little bit more information, but I want to hold this Spell Snare up. Okay, so our opponent's just going to have his way with our hand. Still fine with the way that we've sequenced things here. If our opponent does not play a threat here, then we're absolutely going to Vendilion Click them on their turn. Renegade Rallier, interesting. That changes things a little bit, I think. So let's pay 2 life and then pass. So if our opponent opens up with another hand disruption spell, then I think we can we'll play Click in response. If it's just a Rallier, I mean, he just gets back. I guess he could get back some card draw. I don't really see any reason not to Logic Knot this. We're not going to cast multiple spells. Let's see. Well, as far as a Tarmogoyf standpoint, it's not like I can get the Snapcaster Mage out of the graveyard, but I guess it's just a question of, do we want to get the Snapcaster out if he has like a Scavenging Ooze or something to that effect. But getting rid of the Snapcaster Mage now could make any future logic knots a little worse. I think I'm fine to just Logic Knot this way here. So now we can Spell Snare or path something, but I think I'm fine to just pass here. If our opponent plays a 2-mana threat, we have a Spell Snare, and if he doesn't do anything, then I just want to cast Vendilion Click even if it dies. It's probably going to get zzz. Yep. So this is actually, I think, not Suicide Zoo. It is there's like a Suicide Jund deck. Opponent has an Abrupt Decay and lands. We're not going to take the Abrupt Decay because we have absolutely 0 targets for them. I love that Abrupt Decay art, by the way. So no, we won't take anything. Alright, let's go ahead and start off with the Serum Visions here. Alright, so our opponent is at... Our opponent's at 7. I kind of think we want both of these. We have pass for their creatures. We haven't played a land this turn, so let's do this. Top. Let's cast the Serum Visions. I think we're just looking for like a Snapcaster Mage or another piece of burn. So I'm going to put the Queller at the bottom, put the Bolt on top. And I'm going to shock. And the reason is if our opponent draws something that costs 2 mana, I'd rather just Spell Snare it. So we're going to draw the Bolt. And one of the other reasons to push Spell Snare to the bottom is just our opponent has an answer for it, and I don't really like it in these GBX matchups anyway. Kind of interesting that our opponent would put himself... I guess it's not right because he's going to play like a... So Cryptic Command, Renegade Rallier. Don't have... Or Call Against Command. We don't have an answer for that. And I think we just discard this Spell Snare. Just trying to see what he gets to put back here. I guess no. I guess just a Bauble. Yeah. I'm just gonna Bolt now. I don't see a reason not to. All right, pass. Oh, I wasn't really paying attention. We know our opponent has an Abrupt Decay, and he may have played both lands. Bloodstain. So he played a Bloodstained Mire. So we know he played this guy. He played a Verdant Catacombs. That was probably this one, I think. So his hand is Abrupt Decay something. Or I guess Abrupt Decay 2 somethings. I do want to go ahead and shoot that. And assuming that our opponent just has Abrupt Decay, I don't think we want to fetch here in the event that we could fetch to increase our likelihood of drawing a non-land, but also we kind of are fine with drawing a land because then we can activate Colonnade. just get a mount or an island rather, and I think I'm going to bottom both of these. Like we're not gonna be playing that Blade Splicer next turn. All right. Okay, so then the Colonnade does it. All right. So this is much more interesting Jund list, but I think we probably still want to play it a lot the same way. I don't really like this because they can kill it with Abrupt Decay. I don't think our Quellers are great because they do have quite a bit of removal. I want to bring in the grindy elements. These are good for their creatures. They're all low cost. I want to bring these in because, again, they're grindy. The clicks are just pretty mediocre. I don't think we really need those. Like even against regular Jund, I mean, it does fly over. They have a lot of ways to kill it, and their deck's super redundant anyway. It's not like you're going to take a key piece with click. You might, but there's also a chance that they just draw into something else. I think the one of negate is fine. Although I guess it might be the most suspect. Like the logic knots can kind of counter. Actually, no. You know what I think it is? I don't think our typical removal is as good. I don't think that our helixes kill as many things. I don't think they played Lily. I think they're just really trying to kill you. It's possible they cut the Abrupt Decays, which could make this better. But I'm unsure of that. I think this is more or less fine, so let's submit. The one argument to not cut any of the removal is that they really do, or any of the burn is that they do a lot of damage to themselves, but I guess we really only just cut a helix, so our deck still has quite a bit of burn and snaps in it. Okay, looks like we're both keeping 7. I would really love to have a turn 1 Ancestral, but we don't, and sometimes against Jund it's better to like draw your Ancestral a turn or two after, because when they're on the play, because they can just take it with like an early Inquisition or Thoughtseize or something. All right, so we'll get an island in Serum Visions. Our life total is pretty relevant in this matchup. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lands. I think we want to bottom the Ghost Quarter, top the Path to Exile, and pass the turn. So it's interesting. Our opponent gets to see that we put a path on top, which is that's pretty nice because it really informs his decision on how he wants to deploy his threats here or not, right? Because he may have another piece of hand disruption that now he can just opt to not fire off. I was just debating in my mind, do I want to shock with this? I mean, our life total is relevant, but I have a funny feeling that we're going to need to shock at some point anyway. Now we can just play every land untapped. I'm going to actually bolt our opponent. And we'll play this. And now, kind of interesting, we have I don't think that they play protection spells. I could be completely wrong, but this is cool because now we can path their Goyf at their upkeep and logic not any other play that they have. They know that we have a path to exile, so they're just kind of trying to grind through it, but they don't know that we have this logic knot at the moment. So opponent's going to Thought Seize. I'm going to use the logic knot on it. I don't want them to take the cryptic command in the event that we can get a blue spell in play and then go forward with this game with a cryptic in hand. Like rather untap, have cryptic up. If we just have to play the planes, that's fine, but excuse me. I don't know if you heard that. I need to eat lunch. Okay, pause just for a second there. Opponent got a swamp. Alright, well, we don't have Cryptic up, but we have a Restoration Angel. And for those of you that are wondering, I've counted our number of blue sources, and I want to say it was 21, which the recommended number from Frank Karsten's article is 22. So, and I want to say it's not really the right time to do this now, but here, let's just see. There's blue sources is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then each Serum Visions counts as 0.45 according to Frank Karsten, and I verified that on Twitter. So we have plenty of blue sources to cast Cryptic Command. So this is not a function of having a bad mana base. It's just a function of having a just kind of bad draw. Lingering Souls is kind of annoying, but we're going to play this guy and attack. And our opponent has to decide if he's just going to use them to chump block a bunch or not. Okay, so we'll play the Colonnade. And the reason I think he had to decide whether or not to do that was that Liliana, okay. So does that mean he's going to just bolt our angel? No. All right. I think I'm just going to attack him. I guess he could have a Tar Fire. So we could, but I have this Cryptic Command. Interesting, okay. So I don't think he has an answer for this Restoration Angel at all right now. So our opponent just discarded another copy of Liliana. I feel like counter bouncing seems okay. So if I counter draw, our opponent pluses the Lily, puts more spirits into play. Does he? If he has another land, then he just plays his Lily, pluses it here, taps out. I think I'm going to counterbalance. Get another red source. Question here is, do we tap draw and put our opponent to 5? Or do we just activate Colonnade and attack? He doesn't seem like it accomplishes... I mean, it accomplishes something. We can also just pass, I think. Yeah, I think we can just pass. We can potentially counter this Liliana on the way back down and tap his team and get in with Colonnade and Restoration Angel. So let's see what happens. There are 4 more types. Search the library for a creature or land, card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Okay, I'm only going to counter that. Okay, so he goes for Fulminator to try to answer the... which is going to get a counter tap. Oops, I floated too much mana. Okay, so our opponent wasn't necessarily dead there, because I'm just putting him to 1, but I guess if he didn't really have an answer to the Colonnade anyway. It doesn't look like he had an answer to the Restoration Angel or the Colonnade, so I guess that was a... I don't know what was in his hand, but... Okay, so we are now 1-1 in the competitive league. Again, this is the deck that we're playing, and probably my favorite thing about it is... I really like, I just like the way, I like the way it sideboards a lot. I like how you can sideboard into an all flash deck when you need to, and I like how you can side out the spell quellers, which are kind of lackluster in grindy matchups, and bring in Blade Splicers. I don't want to say that I like it more than the Geist deck, but I like how it's definitely more flexible than the Geist deck, and I do like that about it. So yeah, everybody, thank you for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. If you have critiques or comments, please share them with me. And yeah, I hope you draw well and you smash face. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.